Morning. In the last class, we were discussing about two models of communication system, that is Erlang B model and Erlang C model. Erlang B model is otherwise known as BCC model. BCC is nothing but blocked called cleared model. Okay, so there is no provision for queue in the system, but still, even if the call is being blocked after a particular time, it will be made service or it will give service later time. Okay, by the same server or by the same system. But in the Erlang C formula, you have a provision of queue. So even if the call is not getting the service at that particular point of time, but later it is made to available in the queue, and after a particular queuing time, it is getting the. That is a peculiarity of LCD model. LCD is nothing but lost call delayed model, which is otherwise known as Erlang C model. Okay. So what is the necessity of modeling the system? Modeling means we are going to find the grade of service of this particular system for the given specifications. Given specification in the sense it can be your grade of, the number of channels, the traffic intensity, like how much amount of traffic can be supported by this particular system for a given grade of service. So the three main important parameters we need to consider while going for the modeling are: one is the traffic intensity, second one is the number of channels that is available to the system, and third one is a grade of service. So if we know any of the two parameters out of the three, we will be able to get the third one. Okay, if you know the grade of service and the traffic intensity, we will get the another parameter. Okay, so the main three parameters that you need to access here is: one is the channel, number of channel, second one is the grade of service, and third one is the traffic intensity. So if you know the number of channel and the grade of service, of course, by using these two, we can by using the modeling, we will be able to know the traffic intensity supported by the system. Okay. Similarly, if you know the number of channel and the traffic intensity, we will be able to calculate the grade of service. So if the two parameters are known, then from this model, we will be able to calculate the third unknown parameter. So for that, to configure the unknown things, we are going to model this particular system based upon the assumptions. Modeling, we are going to assume certain things, and the main assumptions that we need to consider are: the first one is the calls are assumed to arrive with a Poisson distribution. Okay, so there is a Poisson arrival. The calls are assumed to be the arrival pattern of calls to the system is distributed in a Poisson manner. That is the first assumption that we are going to have. Okay, I repeat, for modeling any particular system, we need to have some assumptions. And why we require this model? Because we need to calculate the three parameters. The three important parameters are: channel, the number of channels available to the system. Then apart from the number of channels, you have the traffic intensity, that is the second parameter, and third parameter is grade of service. So if you know any of the two parameters like grade of service or the traffic intensity, then based upon that, by using this Erlang concept or Erlang modeling, we will be able to calculate the third parameter. Okay. For example, if you know the number of channel and the grade of service, you can calculate the traffic intensity. Similarly, if you know the traffic intensity and the number of channel, you will be able to calculate the grade of service. These three parameters you need to find out from this modeling of a BCC system. BCC means blocked call cleared model or Erlang B model. Okay, so for this modeling, we have got certain assumptions. So the main assumptions or the major assumptions that we have is: one is the calls are assumed to arrive with a Poisson distribution. That is, the customers are requesting a call to the system, and that all arrival rate, if we draw a graph, it will be a Poisson distribution graph. Okay, so that arrival pattern, it follows a Poisson distribution. That is a mathematical probability distribution. You have the normal distribution, Poisson distribution, exponential distribution, etc. Isn't it? So likewise, you are having this arrival pattern as Poisson distribution. This is the first assumption. Second one is there are nearly an infinite number of users. Means under this particular system, it is supporting to have infinite number of subscribers. It is giving service to infinite number of users. Okay, a large number of users have been registered under this particular system for the service to access or the channels to access. And the third point is the call requests are memoryless. Okay, it is a memory-less system. Why it is memory-less system is because it is independent of any other parameter and it has its own freedom. That is, every subscribers registered under this particular system has got its own freedom to request a channel at any time, whether the channel is available or not at that particular instant of time. Okay, that doesn't matter for the request. Even if channel is not there in the pool, if there is no any channel is not available in that pool, still the users or the subscribers are free to request any number of requests. Okay, so that is why it is called a memoryless, because it doesn't check any other conditions. Without checking the conditions or the availability of the spectrum or availability of the channel or the congestion time or the peak busy hour or whatever be the time at that particular instant, still it is able to, or it is have the freedom to request a call. The matter is whether it is getting the service or not, that's the second matter. So for that we need to check the channel conditions or channel availability and the traffic intensity, etc. But still every subscriber has the freedom to place a request of service at any point of time, irrespective of the channel's status, whether it is free or not. Understood? Fourth point is all the free channels that are fully available for servicing calls until all channels are occupied. Okay, that is, if the channel is not occupied or if it is free, then the channel is able to provide service to the requested subscriber. Okay, maybe the channel is under this particular cell. I am a roaming subscriber or I am moving around that particular cell with my mobile. But if the channel that is allocated to my cell or allocated to my base station is free now, then it is a responsibility of the base station to allocate that free channel to me, so that I will start my I will get my service. Okay, so all the free channels are fully available for servicing the request until it is occupied. So if it is free means they should avail service or they should provide service to the requested subscriber. That is another assumption. So they should not sit idle. Okay, the channels should not still sit idle. If some request is coming means it has to serve. If it is free means it has to serve. So the MSC and the base station should jointly communicate with each other so that it will allocate the free channel to the intended subscriber who is placing the request. Is that clear? Another assumption is the probability of the user occupying a channel. What do you mean by occupying a channel? Occupying a channel means he is not in the queue, he is into the server, or he has been allocated a particular set of channel for the service. So now he is into the service, he is getting the service now. So this service time is exponentially distributed. Okay, I'll repeat what was the first assumption. The arrival rate is Poisson's distribution, and the servicing time, if you plot a graph, then that probability distribution will be exponential in manner. The peculiarity of this exponential distribution is that the longer calls are less likely to happen. Okay, if you take any peak busy hour or any other random interval of time in the scenario, you can feel that there is less chance of, or there is less likelihood of longer calls. Okay, short calls or a few, the less duration calls are more likely to happen. On the other hand, the longer calls are less likely to happen. That is a peculiarity of exponentially distribution. So the service time, what do you mean by service time? That is, the subscriber will place a request to the user, to the server, and the MSC and the base station jointly, they will allocate a free channel to the subscriber. Means once a channel is being allocated to the subscriber, now he is into the service. Here, now he is into the service. The service time. Service time means it is a time duration elapsed until the call is being terminated. Okay. Starting from the call initiation or call setup till the call termination, that time elapsed in between the two event. That is nothing but your service time. So the service time will be different for different customers. But if you plot that for a given observation time, it will be exponentially distributed. And from that exponential distribution behavior, it will be very much clear that the longer calls are less likely to happen and shorter call duration calls are more likely to happen. Okay. Another thing is that even though subscribers are infinite, I told you in the second point, as a second assumption, that the system is supporting infinite number of subscribers. It doesn't mean that I am providing, or the system is providing immediate service to all the requested users. Okay, certain users will not get service at certain point of time because the scarcity of channel. The channel is only finite or limited. So even though the subscribers or the users supported by the system is large, still the number of channels available in the system will be finite. So in the pool, in the trunking pool, there are only finite number of channels available. Clear? So the users are supported infinitely, but the number of users that is supporting by the system is infinite in number. At the same time, the channel availability in the pool, in the trunking pool, is finite. This is another assumption of BCC system. Now, last assumption is inter-arrival time. What do you mean by inter-arrival time? Suppose one call has been requested to the system. Second call is coming. Okay, so the time that is taken between the two arrival or the two requests, that is what is called inter-arrival time. Okay, so this inter-arrival time is independent of each other. Means it is independent of the previous call or the later calls as well. So without depending upon any parameter, the user is free to request call to the system at any time, and it is the duty of the server along with the MSC and BS, that is base station, to allocate the free channel from the trunking pool to the user subscriber. Okay, so the inter-arrival time of the call is independent of each other. So based upon all these mentioned assumptions only, we are going to model the BCC system. And why we require to model the BCC system? Because we need to grade the system. How we are going to grade the system? Based upon the probability of a user to occupy a given channel. Okay, that is measured in terms of grade of service. So we need to grade the system based upon the number of channels in the system and based upon the density supported. So the three parameters we are focusing while measuring the GOS of a system, or while measuring or while modeling a system, are: one is grade of service, second one is the total number of available channels in the system, and third one is, what is the third parameter? What is the third parameter? You have the total number of channels, you have the grade of service, and the third parameter is traffic intensity. Okay, what do you mean by traffic intensity? It is measured in Erlangs and it is measured in terms of channel occupancy. If it is for one user, I told you, if it is of one channel, I told you in the last class, the maximum load supported by that particular channel will be 1 Erlang. Means it is measured in terms of time occupancy. If the entire channel is occupied for all the period of duration or all the observation time, then we can say that the traffic intensity supported by the channel is 1 Erlang. Out of 60 minutes, if it is accommodating only 30 minutes, if it is using only 30 minutes for the conversation and rest of the 30 minutes it is vacant or the channel is free, then we can say that the traffic intensity of that particular channel is 0.5 Erlang. So that is confined in a per channel basis. But if you are going to take the entire system into account or entire channel into the account, maybe the traffic intensity will be more than 1, which will be more clear to you when you do the numerical problem. As of now, we are dealing with a BCC system. BCC is nothing but what is blocked called cleared system, or LCC, lost to call cleared system. That is, the call is being lost. Why the call is lost? Because all the channels are occupied. But that call is being served in later basis after the wait time. So without making the call to wait in the queue, it is blocked as such. But later when it retries, if there is any available channel free in the pool, that MSC will allocate that particular channel to this subscriber. That is what is known as BCC or LCC model. So for different parameters like traffic intensity, number of channels, we need to model the system for a particular grade of service. That only we're going to model the system. So for modeling, we need all these assumptions as I mentioned in the slide. So these assumptions are very important. There can be a question on what basis you are modeling a BCC system, on what assumptions you are going to model a BCC system, means you need to explain these points. Yeah. So what are the points? I'll repeat. One is the call should be Poisson distribution, the arrival rate should be Poisson. Then there are infinite number of subscribers. Then at any point of time, the user is free to place a request to the channel at any time. So it is memoryless. And fourth one is all the free channels are available to provide the service if they are free. If they are occupied means they can't. Okay. And there is longer calls are less likely to happen. That's what's known as the service time is exponentially muted. Then even though the users are infinite, but the number of channels are limited in the trunking pool. Then the last one, the inter arrival time between the two call requests, they are independent of each other. Okay. So based upon these assumptions only, we are going to model the first system, that is BCC system, otherwise known as LCC model or Erlang B model. So based upon this modeling, the traffic theory has developed, or the Erlang named scientist, he has developed he has derived the formula for blocking probability. So you don't go for the derivation. The only thing is you need to study this expression for blocking probability. This is otherwise known as Erlang B formula. PR of blocking is known as probability of blocking. I told you, as and when a user requests a call or plays a call request, he will not get service at instant time because all the channels can be busy in the peak busy hour. So there is no more channels available in the pool and it will not get service. It means that the call is blocked. It is not delayed, actually it is blocked. Why it is not delayed? Can anybody tell why it is not delayed and I have specified blocked here? Why? I have not specified delayed, I have specified blocked. What is the difference between delaying and blocking? Delay will happen only if there is provision of what? You are
a channel, sir, waiting to be vacated.
Yes. So there is a provision of queue, isn't it? If there is a provision of queue, then only there is a provision of delaying. Otherwise, it will get blocked at that particular instant of time itself. So that is why in BCC model we are connecting. We are only focused with the probability of blocking and not on the probability of delaying. Okay. So probability of blocking is expressed as a raised to c divided by c factorial whole divided by sigma k is equal to 0 to c a raised to k divided by k factorial. This is known as Erlang B formula, and you need to define these parameters, each and every parameters. You know what is C? C is nothing but the available number of trunked channels in the pool. Okay, how many number of trunked channels are available in the system? Trunked radio system, TRS. What is TRS? Trunked radio system. What is the speciality of trunking? That is, the system will allocate available number of channels from the pool, and after termination of the call, the same channels will be made available back to the pool in order to serve other requests. That is a speciality of trunking. Okay, to increase the capacity, we are going for trunking. So, but still, even if we are going for this channel sharing, still there can be chances of blocking a call in peak busy hour. That probability of blocking a call is defined by Erlang's B formula, and the statement is like this: a raised to c divided by c factorial whole divided by sigma k is equal to 0 to c a raised to k divided by k factorial. Now c, I told you c is a number of trunked channels. And what about capital A and A? Capital A is total offered traffic. Capital A is total offered traffic. You know the difference between A, AU and AC. All these three are traffic intensity, but you should be aware about the parameters very clearly. You should know the difference between all these three very clearly. I told AU. AU is traffic intensity offered per user. From each user, how much amount of traffic intensity is being offered to the system? That is AU. Okay. A means it is a total offer traffic. That is, if you multiply this AU with the number of users U, then you will get A. So what is the equation for capital A? Capital A is equal to AU into U. U is the total number of users. So if you multiply the total number of users with capital AU, then you will get capital A. Capital A is total offered traffic. Kindly note this. A is total offered traffic, where capital A is equal to AU into U. Now what is K? K is for different channel cases. That is for K is equal to 0 to C. Capital C is the total number of trunked channels available in the system. But maybe we are using 2 channels at a time, or maybe we are using K channels at a time. So in that case, we need to take only the channels that is currently busy. That is why I am providing K is equal to 0 to C. All the C channels are busy means we need to take the entire channels into account. So a raised to 0 by 0 factorial, plus a raised to 1 by 1 factorial, plus a square by 2 factorial, up to a to the power C divided by C factorial. If there is only 2 channels that is now available into the service, means we are going to take only from K is equal to 0 to 2. Like that. Okay. K equal to 0 means what does it mean? All the channels are free. There is no service taking place in the system. Maybe in the midnight, there is no customers accessing the system. That is the speciality of K equal to 0. Means K is nothing but the number of channels which are busy in present time. Currently, how many number of channels are busy? That is what is known as K. C is the total available channels in the trunked pool. Doesn't mean that all the C should be available to the service at all time. Isn't it? Even though there are capital C number of channels in the pool, out of that capital C, maybe K channels are busy. So K is nothing but the number of channels that are busy in this particular instant of time, or the current instant of time. So we need to take a summation from K equal to 0 to C. Clear? So this is the blocking probability of a BCC system or Erlang B system, and this formula is known as Erlang B formula. Any doubts? Now, according to the traffic theory that is developed by the Erlang named scientist, he analyzed this particular formula and he has drawn a graph. That graph is known as Erlang B chart. So this chart will be made available to you, or based upon this chart, we had created a table. So that table will be given to you for the examination or while doing the numericals. So from the table, we need to find the unknown parameter based upon the 2 given parameters. Clear? By observing this graph, it is understood that we are having 3 parameters that is plotted, isn't it? In upper x-axis, you are having the number of trunked channels C. In the lower x-axis, you are having the traffic intensity capital A. In the lower x-axis, you are having the traffic intensity capital A in Erlangs, and in the y-axis, you are having the probability of blocking. That's nothing but your grade of service. You know that grade of service is nothing but the measurement of a how often or how efficient a particular subscriber can access the TRS, trunked radio system. So that measurement of accessing a system's measurement of subscribers' ability to access a particular system is known as the probability, is known as a grade of service. So grade of service is nothing but a measurement of probability also, isn't it? So in y-axis, you are plotting the probability of blocking. In x-axis, you are having the traffic intensity in Erlangs as well as the number of trunked channels C. So if you have any 2 parameters like C or probability of blocking, you can able to find traffic intensity. Or in other way, if you have these 2, that is probability of blocking or traffic intensity, you can have the number of channels as well. So based upon the number of channels or the probability of blocking, traffic intensity will differ. This is what is the theory developed by Erlang B. Okay. So in this Erlang's B system, you are having this particular chart, and based upon this chart, a table will be provided for your examination, or while doing your numericals, you need to access that table and proceed with the problem. And how this chart has been developed, or how this graph has been developed from the previous table, whatever. See, kindly mute your mic. Mute your mic. Sanjay, mute your mic. So from this, either you need to calculate the grade of service, or you need to calculate the probability of blocking based upon the other two given parameters. So I just have put it in a slide. So this is a table that shows the capacity for given GOS. Capacity in Erlangs means the traffic intensity in Erlangs for the given number of channels and the given GOS. Okay. So just go through this table. No need to by heart these values and all. This table will be provided for you. Okay. So actually this is only available for 2, 4, 5, 10, etc. So if other parameters like 3, 1 and all it is given, means that is given in your question. Will be given in your question. Okay. So don't bother about those values. So if you have 2 as a channel number, and if you're having the grade of service as 0.01, that is, if your system is designed or modeled in such a way that it is providing a grade of service of 0.01, then correspondingly the Erlang or the traffic intensity supported by that system is 0.153. So like that, if you match this y-axis and x-axis, that is a capacity, that is a GOS and the number of channels, you will be able to find all these traffic intensities. So for different cases of C and GOS, you can able to find the value of traffic intensity in Erlangs. Is that clear for you? This is known as Erlang B chart. So based upon that chart, we have designed this particular table, and this table will be made available for you to do the numericals. Understood? Because from the chart, we won't be able to find the exact values. Okay, for example, from this chart, I will tell you for C equal to 5. C equal to 5 means 5 number of channels and grade of service is 0.005. So what I have to do, I should need or intercept this 0.05 with 5, and I should come down and check the values. So like that you need to calculate, but this cannot be done precisely. Okay, so for that only the table will be more useful than the chart. Is that clear for you? So the speciality of Erlang B chart or the table is that C will be given to you, probability of blocking or grade of service will be given to you. Then based upon this grade of service and the probability of the number of channels, correspondingly, you will be able to find the traffic intensity in Erlangs. So this is the model that we have done in Erlang B system, otherwise known as Erlang B formula, whatever we have done in the previous slide. Okay, that equation. This is an equation that is known as Erlang B formula. Based upon this equation, a graph is plotted, and based upon this graph, we have gone to that particular table, and the table, from the table, we will get the exact values as such, and which can be applicable in our numericals. Clear? Okay. Now all of you take your notes and write this particular question. Take down this question. How many users can be supported for 0.5% blocking probability? So what is 0.5? It is GOS. I told you GOS is a measurement of probability of blocking. Okay, so GOS can be considered as probability of blocking for a DCC system. 0.5% means 0.005. So that can be considered as grade of service. And what we have to calculate is, we have to calculate the total number of users supported by the system for 3 different parameters. the three parameters that is given us, the three cases that is given us. If the system is supporting 5 channels initially, then the system is supporting 10 channels, then the system is supporting 20 channels. So for all these three different values of capital C, we need to find the total number of users that can be supported by the given system. And it is given that each user generates 0.1 Erlang. So it is user basis. So what is that parameter? Is it A or AU? Each user generates 0.1 Erlang means what is it representation? Is it A or AU?
AU.
Yes, it is AU. So AU can be written as 0.1, GOS can be written as 0.005, and C can be written as 5. Now you need to calculate U. You know that U is equal to A by AU, isn't it? I told the relation in the last slide. What is the relation between A and AU? A is the total offer traffic. The total offer traffic intensity can be calculated by multiplying AU with U. So from that, U is equal to total traffic by traffic offered from one user. Okay, total offer traffic is capital A divided by traffic intensity from one user is AU. So if you divide these two, total by traffic per one user, then you will get the number of users supported by the system. So to calculate capital U, AU is already given to you. So the only unknown parameter that you need to find is capital A. What is capital A? From Erlang B formula, if you know GOS and C, automatically you will get capital A. So from that figure or table, either you can use figure or you can use that table. The table will be given to your, it will be provided for your examination. Okay. So from the table or graph, you can find capital A. Substitute here, A is 1.13 divided by AU is given, that is 0.1. So you will get approximately 11 users supported by the entire TRS. TRS is trunked radio system. Coming to the second case, for the same GOS, there is no change for GOS, but what you have done is you have increased the trunked channel. Then what is the conclusion that you have? So instead of putting 5, you are putting 10. This is not 5, okay, this is 10 actually. Correct it. So from the graph or from the table, for C equal to 10, and for the same grade of service, you calculated A as 3.96. Okay, just check the table. I'll show that slide and you can check the table whether it is correct or not. So for same C equal to 10 and 0.005. C equal to 10 and 0.005. See, C equal to 10. Check the case. C is equal to 10 and grade of service is 0.005. 0.005 means in this case you are having the traffic intensity as 3.96. So capital A is 3.96. So the total traffic offered by the system is 3.96 divided by traffic per user is 0.1. There is no change for that. So when you divide this, you will get 39 user. So what is the conclusion? Can anybody tell? Raghava, what is the conclusion that you have? If you increase C, what is the conclusion? Or what is the inference that you had from this? If you increase the number of channels, means tell.
The total number of users can be increased.
Yes, the total number of users that is supported by the system can be increased. So it is an advantage. What the advantage of increasing the trunked channel is the number of customers supported by the system has increased from 11 to 39 when we increase the channel from 5 to 10. Please, this is error. This is not C equal to 5. This is C equal to 10. Now you go for C equal to 20. Third case, you go for C equal to 20 and check from the table. For C equal to 20 and the same grade of service 0.005, you will have the total traffic intensity offered as 11.10. for 20 number of channels and 0.005 as grade of service. You are having 11.1 Erlangs as a total traffic intensity. And you divide that traffic intensity 11.1 by AU. AU is traffic offered by one user. We need to divide those two to get the number of users supported by the system. So when you divide this, you will get 11.1 divided by 0.1, that is 110 users. So from these three cases, it is obvious that when you increase the capacity, channels from 5 to 10 and then from 10 to 20, see the number of users has increased drastically from 11 to 39 and 39 to 110. So that is the inference that we have from this problem. Kindly take down. If any doubts, ask me. See, don't confuse with BCC and the other system is LCD system. It will have different charts. Okay, so you should, clearly you should read the problem and identify which type of system that we are using. This is BCC system, so you are responsible to observe the BCC chart or table to get the value of A. Don't go to LCD table and take the value. Clear? If it is BCC means you need to check that BCC chart, Erlang chart, and take the corresponding values of A. But the drawback of the chart is you won't be able to get the precise value of A. For that only you are going to use the table. The table will be given to you while doing your programs or examination. Clear? So within another minute, this meeting will get an end, and you can join with the same link again. And meanwhile, you need to submit the assignment also. Already I had submitted those questions in the classroom last week. I have posted the questions. Go through the questions and try to write the assignment and submit before the date. I know you are busy with L&T, but still I can give you a deadline by Thursday. Okay, Thursday evening you try to finish and upload the assignment one, because Wednesday is your L&T test, right? So by Thursday evening or by Friday morning, you just try to finish and submit the assignment one.